Yippee-ki-yay, we are going back to Christmas Eve 1988 when John McClane took down Hans Gruber in the movie Die Hard. We've recreated Nakatomi Tower in this delicious rib form. Welcome to the party, pals. It's Mike C with HLM BBQ, and we have recreated the Nakatomi Tower in rib form because, well, it's that time of year, and we wanted something that looked awesome and tasted delicious. So start with a rack of baby back ribs. Rub your fingers down the bones. They can sometimes have some loose chunks from the bandsaw. If they've got them, just pick them off. Don't worry about it. And get a nice sharp knife. Score the back of the rib so that we don't have to remove the membrane, and then take your knife and slide it down between the bones, trying to keep enough meat on both sides because we want everything to cook evenly and we want everyone to get their fair share of ribs. Now chuck these into a bowl, and we want to add a binder. We're going to use soy sauce because soy sauce is salty, it's delicious, and it works perfect to binding our seasoning to these individual ribs. So just squirt it all over them. Don't worry about if you're making a mess. You just want everything to be nice and covered because we want the seasoning to penetrate. Then we are using back rub all-purpose seasoning. This is our seasoning that we had created for those that are maybe gluten-free, are worried about having too much sodium, but they don't want to sacrifice flavor. Use our seasoning if that's what you're into, or grab whatever seasoning you have lying around. We don't really care. We just want you to be happy, and we want you to eat a lot of food. And they should look something like this. They're like their own little riblets that are going on here. So we want to make it easy to transport and easy to smoke. I put it on this little baking rack with foil underneath because I'm lazy and don't want to clean things up. Just make sure that there's enough room so that the smoke and airflow can go all around the ribs. And today we're going to use a 2012 Traeger. It's super easy to use this pellet smoker. We've got it ramped up to 225 degrees Fahrenheit. Now take a look at this Hans Gruber. I just can't help myself. I'm sorry it's Christmas time, but look at the ribs. They're looking super good. Now, it doesn't matter what smoker you use. You want to use a pellet smoker, use it. You want to use a barrel smoker, go for it. Your guests are just going to want some delicious cooked ribs, and I guarantee this recipe will make them delicious, and your guests are going to love them. Now, one of the things about cooking individual ribs is you don't want them to dry out. Give them a spray with whatever mop you like. We like using soy sauce, water, and apple cider vinegar. Just use what you've got. And the idea here is that we want to keep the ribs rotating. We don't want the fat to pull on one side. We don't want the seasoning to get knocked off. So you have to be kind of gentle. It's almost like wrapping a little Christmas present here. You have to take your time if you want the wrapping to look good. Or you can wrap it in tin foil like I usually do with things, but you don't have to. The ribs are going to cook just fine without using a crutch. So don't trip about doing any extra steps here. All right, just take it easy. Now, we want the flavor to explode harder than the third floor when John McClane dropped the C4 down and went kablooey. Let's just say we're gonna need to put a paint job on these things, and we're using a yakitori glaze that we made last week. It's filled with ginger and garlic. It's got soy sauce and sesame oil. It's all reduced down to look almost like motor oil, but what it does do is create an incredible glaze that is sweet and sticky with exploding umami flavor, and it's going to be the perfect addition to the Nakatomi Rib Tower, which you're getting a look at right here. All I did was I stacked the ribs. I did 2 on the bottom, and then I switched them over and I did 2 on top of that, and just repeated that process, and I just can't get over how good the ribs look. I think I took like 45 different shots of these, and I was running around the backyard screaming once I got them stacked up. They seriously look so good, and it will blow your guests away. I don't care whether you're doing this for a Christmas party, you're doing this for a backyard barbecue in the middle of summer. Look at these ribs. The glaze is popping. The smoke is, it's just wrapped around it. It's like a little sauna smoke that's on the outside, and the seasonings coming through. That soy sauce binder really worked to get that seasoning to stick and really get that smoke to attach. And I'm telling you guys, this is the best rib I think I've ever made in my life. It's falling off the bone. You're still getting that sticky, sweet glaze, but the flavor is penetrated all the way through. It's the best rib that I've ever made in my life. And I realized I just said that on the video too, and as soon as I did that, my gimbal died, and that's why it fell down. I couldn't get another bite without the gimbal falling down. Look, if you haven't tried individual smoked ribs, try this recipe. It's going to blow your mind, and your guests are going to freak out. If you haven't subscribed to our channel and you like this kind of stuff, then please subscribe. And I know those that have subscribed are here watching, and we really appreciate your support. Thanks for liking the videos. Thanks for dropping us a comment. We've got some really exciting stuff coming through the holidays, a ton of different meats that are getting smoked up and cooked and just super delicious. Happy holidays to you, and we'll see you guys in 1 week.